Hey beautiful family, welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be a little bit different, okay? I'm in the guest bedroom because first of all, I'm watching this TV because this TV has the Fire Stick on it. And all the good movies, all the new movies. That's why I'm in this room, in case you're wondering. So let's jump right into this video. So let me share some stuff with you guys. And hopefully, I hope it'll save somebody's life, because I feel like had it not been for the guardian angel watching over me, there is a really, really good chance that I wouldn't even be here with you. Like, seriously. So let me rewind. Last night, I went back. I tried to go through as many videos that I have recorded over the last 6 months, 5 months, give or take, to see if or how many videos I mentioned in the video. If I was sick at some point or not, feeling good or feeling off, or maybe sharing my symptoms or something of that nature. I wanted kind of a track record of when this all started, okay? The most recent known situation I shared with you guys, and it was around right after the Christmas holiday break. My mom was here, and I went to take her home. I told you guys in a video that I literally almost passed out behind the wheel of the car. I had to run the light, ended up having to call 911. An ambulance had to come out, went to the emergency room where they told me that I was dehydrated, okay? I was severely dehydrated. They did do blood work. They did do a urine analysis. I took a CT scan of the head. They did check my heart. I did a stroke cognitive type of test to make sure that I hadn't had a stroke, because my numbers were kind of out of whack. Okay, they were just kind of all over the place. But everything came back clean, normal, right? It is really hard to tell someone when you're having certain symptoms, but there's nothing to back it up. So it's really hard for someone to, I don't know, hear you maybe. Even when I was trying to explain to my daughters, other people, my symptoms, how I was feeling on this day, that day, they were empathetic to a certain degree, but I could tell they really just didn't get it. So after some point, I think I just probably stopped even saying when it was I wasn't feeling good or this particular day, but I knew. You know what I mean? Like, I knew. So on Saturday, which was February the 13th, 2021, I had a nail appointment to go get my nails done, which I mentioned in yesterday's vlog that I put up here on the channel. I mentioned that I went and got my nails done. I also mentioned in that video that I had a day where I wasn't feeling good, but I didn't really go into details as to what was going on, how I felt, all that jazz. So I'm going to share that in today's video so that it'll make sense to you. So my power was off here on Saturday morning when I woke up. We had a little ice storm, power was off. So I was really, really looking forward to going to the nail shop to get out of here, allow them time to get our power up and going. I was going to get my nails, my feet done, and just live my best life, my whole best life, okay? I hop in the car, I take off. Mind you, I'm feeling great. Not sick, nothing. Hop in the car. I get probably less than 2 miles from the nail shop. And instantly, my mouth is dry. I'm feeling dizzy and faint. I'm getting super hot. I can feel my heartbeat speeding up, okay? I pull into the parking lot of the nail salon, right? Cut my car off. I'll have like 10 minutes, 9 minutes or so to spare before going inside the nail salon. So I'm sitting in my car out front. and I cannot pull it together. Like, I'm telling myself, Sharon, it's going to be okay. Just breathe. Hey, you got this. Like, you know, but I'm feeling so out of sorts. I can't even explain it to you how just out of sorts I was, right? So I put my mask up. I go into the nail shop. As soon as I sit down, I tell my nail tech, I said, hey, can you please give me 2 bottles of water? She was like, yeah, sure. Got you. She go get the water, and I guzzle both bottles of water. Like, I probably took 2 gulps of each bottle, and they were gone, right? So she's working on my hands, and I tell her, I said, I need another bottle of water. I could not quench my thirst. I have never had dry mouth to that extreme, to the point that my tongue was getting stuck to my lips and to the roof of my mouth. Dry, I'm talking dry, desert dry, okay? I'm guzzling water like it is nobody's business. The nail girl, she's trying to do my nails. I can't sit still, so she can tell something ain't quite right. I've been going to her for years, okay? She can tell something is not right. So I pull my mask down. There's a little plastic partition in between us, and everyone sits in their every other seat for the social distancing or whatever. So I pull my mask down and I tell her, I said, something is wrong. I know I'm going to pass out. I need to call my daughter, which I did. I got my phone. I called my daughter and I tell her, hey, I said, hey, I'm feeling the exact same way that I was feeling the other day when I had to call 911, right? I said, is there any way you can bring me a Gatorade? Because she lives down the street from the nail shop. And she was like, yeah, Mom, I'm on my way. So by the time she got there, I had drank 9 bottles. Kid you not. 9 bottles of water was sitting on the table that was empty beside me because no one was sitting at that table. Someone was on the other side of it, right? Getting their nails done. 9 empty bottles of water. So I tell the nail tech, I said, if I pass out, right, go ahead and call 911. I said, my daughter is en route. She's pregnant. So do not let them take me until she's here, right? If I pass out, because I felt it coming. She was like, yes. So both the owners of the nail shops, the husband and wife, they came over to me and brought me a wet washcloth and another bottle of water, which I didn't even get to drink, the 10th one, okay? I couldn't sit still, like I said, to keep my hands underneath the gel cure. I was so disoriented. I had her to cut these down. This is disoriented Sharon, okay? First of all, if you know me, you know my nails are always claws, super long. In my disorientation, at some point, I told her to cut them. So, and that's what she done. Cut them down, gave me a French. This is not my style, really, at all. Okay? So I see my daughter coming in. I tell her, and she was like, well, we're not going to do your feet today. Like, we're going to just go ahead and let you go. Like, she wanted me out of there. They didn't want me to faint in the nail salon, and I didn't want to faint in the nail salon, okay? So I get in the back seat of my daughter's car. Her husband is helping me, and I'm so agitated, like agitated, super freaking thirsty, just thirsty, hot, heart is racing. My breathing, I'm trying to catch up and keep myself calm at the same time, right? So my daughter was like, okay, Mom, we're going to hop in your car. Husband's going to get my grandkids from his mom's house, and we were going to go back to daughter's house because I just did not want to go to the hospital. I didn't want to go at that moment. I didn't want to go. But I said, if I get worse, and I had told my daughter, if I should pass out and I don't come to, just go ahead and call 911. I mean, it was icing out. People had power outages. It was just a horrible day to get sick. I mean, it really was. So I get back to daughter's house. Symptoms are still the same, if not worse. In fact, when I got in my car, I said, I don't know if it's the motion of this car, but I feel like I'm going to throw up. I feel like it's getting worse. You know what I mean? So we get back to her house. She helped me inside. I've drank all of that water, so now I have to use the bathroom. But every time I stand up, I get super dizzy. I mean, I could literally feel the room and see it spinning. So I'm having to hold on to her to keep from hitting the floor, basically. But I'm having to use the bathroom because I've drank so much water. And I'm still drinking water, okay? I still cannot undo this excessive dry mouth. I can't get it right. So I go through these motions literally for about 5.5 or 6 hours. So I never went to the hospital this time. She kind of just tried to keep me calm. But literally it took about 5 or 6 hours, and then I started feeling like myself again, right? So I'm like, okay, something clearly is wrong. I don't know what it is. It's weird that the other episode also happened on a Saturday around the same time, right? But when I figured out what it was, and then I went back and thought about it, I was like, you know what? The problems and the poison was already starting to happen a couple months before that, because when I kind of broke down my symptoms as they were at their worst, right? And I went back and thought about other occasions where I felt weird or off or something wasn't quite right. It may not have been as bad as it was like those times, but it was like the peak of, I guess, it kicking in, if that makes sense, right? A lot of trying to swallow and just swallowing hard, mouth drying out a little bit, heart getting a little bit elevated. It was just like a slow progress of things until they built up to me actually having to call 911, right? So I tell her, I said, okay, daughter, I'm feeling back like myself. I don't know what is happening. I said, I'm going to go ahead and try and drive myself back home. Okay. I said, but if I feel like, I can't do it, I said, what I'll do is I'm going to go crank my car. I'm going to sit in my car outside your house and just see if the motion of the car is the problem. I don't know. But if I'm okay to drive, I'll just toot the horn. I'll call you when I get home. She said, all right, fine. Either way, let me know. I get in the car. I'm feeling back, kind of back to myself enough that I knew I could drive. Like the faint feeling is gone. I'm still a little bit with the racy heart though at this point. That's not quite back right yet. But I didn't feel the room spinning. I didn't feel as thirsty as I was, but just like a tiny little bit. So I hop in the car. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I got this. I'm going to drive home, get in the house. I'm going to keep drinking this water. I'm going to lay down. It's going to be okay, right? It's going to be okay. Don't you worry. I took off and I got to the stop sign at the end of her road. And instantly, everything was spinning. I'm feeling really lightheaded, like I can't get it together. So I do a U-turn and I zoom back down to her house. And I'm blowing the horn like, come outside, come outside. Now, by the time I get down the street, I'm having trouble swallowing again. I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So she said, okay, let me run in the house, get my shoes. I'll drive you home, get you settled in. If I have to stay, I will. If it gets worse, Mom, we're going to just call, 911. We need to figure out what's going on with you, right? So I get back here. But now the ride in the car was horrible. From her house to here was torture at its finest. Like and I couldn't explain it enough. I know she was trying to be sympathetic with her mother. I knew she was scared, but she was trying to be calm, trying to be brave, and keep me calm. But I just could tell nobody was getting it. Like nobody's getting what I'm going through and what I'm feeling right now. Like this shit is not normal. Like I'm frustrated, right? So I get here home and she chills out with me for a long time. And then I ended up having company who stayed overnight. Now, it took me literally all of Saturday night to start feeling back like myself, okay? My company's here, so I feel safe. And they were like, if you get sick or whatever, hey, I'll call 911 or I'll take you to the hospital or whatever the case is. You know, let's just take it one moment at a time. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. So I finally fell asleep Saturday night. I wake up Sunday. I'm feeling like me. Okay. Everything is good. I have a great Sunday. My friend leaves late Sunday night. I end up going to bed Sunday. I'm feeling great. Monday, I wake up. I'm feeling great. Okay. So my daughter called and was like, hey, Mom, I'm on my way to bring you your car. And you'll have to bring me home. Then, you know, drive yourself back home or whatever. I said, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my nail situation, get my feet done today, you know, enjoy my best Monday life. And then I'll head on home, right? So when she pulled up, I hop in the back seat because my little baby grandson was in the back. So I'm back there playing with him, still feeling great. Back there playing with him the whole ride from my house all the way to her house. I helped them out the car into the house, right? Hop in the car. I'm going to go to the nail shop and get my toes done because I didn't get them done Saturday from getting sick, right? I take off. I get to that same stop sign on Monday. Everything is spinning. My mouth is starting to get dry. I'm in the car in total disbelief. Like, are you kidding me? And it happens the same way. And like in the same amount of time each time. I was beside myself. So, and by this time, I've already made the turn onto the main road. Everything is spinning while I'm driving the car. I'm gasping to like just get a little bit of saliva down my throat, just a little bit. I had like a half of bottle of water just on the floor in the car, which I reached down, grabbed, and just chugged that half a bottle in like one gulp. So now I'm at the extreme dry mouth again, right? And it was in that moment, like, oh my God. I heard this so clear. I looked around in my car like, is there somebody in the car with me? It was a totally different voice. And it said, carbon monoxide. I looked around. Carbon monoxide. Said it a second time. So I put the windows down on the car. Now I put all the windows down. It's cold as all get out outside. So I'm driving myself home with all the windows on the car down. I'm still feeling off and out of sorts or whatever. But with the cold air rushing through the car, the front and the back, it was kind of making me feel just a little bit better. But by this time, it's already in my bloodstream. Have been in my bloodstream for I don't know how many months. Okay. It's in my bloodstream, which is why when I get in the car, my levels are so off. Any amount coming through my vents on my vehicle, whatever the level was, coming through my vents on the vehicle was killing me, right? So she being in the car that amount of time, it wasn't affecting her. My mom getting in the car, out the car, it wasn't affecting her, right? It was me who drove the car all the time. So it was just, my levels, like I say, were so off that the amount that was coming through, it was like clockwork. It had gotten to the point it was clockwork. So we'll say a mile from the time I got in my vehicle, wherever I'm at, a mile away, whatever amount is coming through the vents at that time, getting in my system, it would take that long, or that shorter time, rather, not that long, but that short amount of time to go ahead and start affecting me with all those symptoms, the severe dry mouth, the confusion, the out of sorts, the dizziness, the nauseous, nausea, hate that word. The nausea, just all of the symptoms, irritability. And I can think back when we ended up calling 911 when I was about to pass out and call my mom. I remember apologizing over and over to the 911, to the ambulance drivers. When I got into the ER, the nurse that was helping me, the doctor that came in to help me, I remember apologizing to them because I knew I was snapping and just biting everybody's head off, because to me, everybody was moving too slow. Y'all are watching me die and you're not helping me. That's what my mind was telling me. So I was frustrated because I knew something was wrong with me, but I didn't know what was wrong. So I take my car in to the dealership. They do a overall inspection of the vehicle and found that I know for a fact the damage that's done to the car, I know I did not do that. So obviously it was that way when I purchased the car 6 months ago, okay? Because I just got that car 6 months ago. The previous owner had already done this damage, okay? They had to have, because I knew when the man explained to me and showed us, me and my mom, how much damage was to the bottom of the vehicle, he said, whomever hit whatever it was they hit with this car, you would have, without a doubt, you would have known you hit something, and you hit it hard. It ripped it tore up the catalytic converter, which is dented. So it's been like a slow leak of exhaust coming into the car. That's dented, and the actual, don't get me into mechanics, but the actual piece that's before that, I think he said it's to filter out between the two converters. It's like a filter system. He said whenever the person or whatever was hit and it pushed it underneath the car, it also punctured that thing at the top. So it's kind of tore up at the top underneath the car, right? So it's not filtering anything. So again, it's allowing exhaust to come into the vehicle, and it's coming in at a slow enough rate. You can't smell it, okay? No smell whatsoever, no taste, no nothing to it. So it had been coming into the car enough that I had built up enough in my bloodstream. It was building up in my bloodstream. So the days that I was on hermit move, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going any place. Those were the days that I was allowing it to get out of my system and wasn't even aware of it, okay? So them days of being a hermit and isolating myself probably saved my life also, okay? That Saturday, the day before Valentine's Day, when the power went out here, it's so crazy. When the power went out here, there was a few hours in between the time the power went out and the time my appointment was. And I didn't really want to just be out driving around. And I didn't want to go too far either. So initially I said, okay, it's starting to get cold here in the house. I had literally said on 2 different times and got busy doing something else. My daughter came over, which I think she recorded herself vlogging coming here that day to bring me the roses for Valentine's Day. She came. Before she came, though, something else happened that allowed me not to put on my stuff and go sit out in the car to warm up and charge my phone. She came, something else happened. Then she came and sat here with me right up until I got ready to leave. We left together, basically. She got in her car, I got in mine. And she was the one who told me, Mom, your power will probably be on by the time you leave the nail salon because the lights are flickering at the stop. Lights are flickering. She's like, so I think they're probably working on the power. So I was like, okay, great. This is before all hell broke loose. Okay. All hell broke loose. There are no signs and symptoms. No signs unless you have like a detector that will alert you of carbon monoxide leaking in your house or your car. I also was not aware of this. The fire department, because my friend was on the phone after I talked to my daughter, because I called my daughter and I asked her, when it said carbon monoxide twice to me, I called my daughter and I asked her, Or did I say it already? I asked her if she felt sick getting in or out the car. Okay, I'm not delirious now. What the hell is going on? Okay. So anyway, my car is in the shop, needless to say. There's so much damage underneath the car that it's ridiculous, right? Whatever the big thing is that's supposed to cover up all of this stuff, right? It's gone. There's a place that's right above, right underneath the what is not power, the gas lines to my car. There's a cover over that. Whenever the person hit whatever they hit, that thing is gouged out. He said, "You're really, really, really lucky that if that's the case, that those gas lines weren't leaking gas." Now he said, "No, when they sold you the car, though, I would have thought they would have seen all of this." And then two, this is an easy sale because you can't see it. You would not have seen it by even just crawling under the car. You could only see the amount of damage, the excessive amount of damage underneath my car by putting it up in the air on the actual machine. And they knew I wasn't going to do that when I came and bought that car. They knew that, honey. So that was an easy sale. Now, I have a full warranty on. I still have the manufacturer's warranty on the car. But guess what? Guess what? That part is not covered in my warranty. Anything dealing with the exhaust on my car is not covered under my warranty. So that is a huge out-of-pocket expense. And nobody has the part to fix it except the dealership. No Advances, no AutoZones, no O'Reilly. None of those places can get me the part so that a mechanic that I know can fix it. It can only be done by the dealership. I said all that to say, it's been months of me driving my vehicle unaware that it wasn't making any noise, no smells, no indication whatsoever except me getting sick over time, and then my guardian angel saying to me, carbon monoxide. I never would have thought carbon monoxide. Even when I went to the hospital, they weren't looking for a CO2 situation. So they would not have found that my CO2 levels were ridiculous. Now, my oxygen level was low, but they told me it was because of my acrylic nails. That was it. He was like, okay, I think you're fine. Your breathing looks good. As far as I can tell, So I don't think it's anything with your oxygen. My oxygen was low. But they just said there was this, it's your nails. No big deal. They didn't put it on my ear. They didn't try to put it on my toe. They just let it be. And so did I. I'm thinking stroke, heart attack, not carbon monoxide poisoning over time in my own vehicle. The heat makes it worse. We had to turn the heat off in the car. I remember even telling my daughter when I rode with her that day, even when my mom was in the car with me that day, I remember just briskly turning off the heat because it was cold that day in December also. The heat made it come through even worse, right? So when we took my car to the dealership, I had to drive my mom's car. She had to drive my car because it wasn't affecting anyone but me. Like physically affecting nobody but me because, again, I had been driving the car for months. It's in my bloodstream at this point. So any amount I'm getting is causing me to be crazy, thirsty. My heart rate was so high whenever they checked me at the hospital before it just elevated. It was so high. So yes, be careful. I can't think of how many times that I've been driving that car and felt weird or something was not quite right, and I would just crack the window. I also remember my coordination was off. Like this was afterwards. Like when I would get in the house after driving the car and not knowing it, it's the car. If I went to put, like, say I wanted to sit this down, like boom, boom, right? I would go to sit it down and it would do this. It was like I could not control what my fingers done, what my range of motion or my movement. It would go that way. Again, I'm tired of telling people, you know what I mean? Something is not right with me. So I'm just living with a lot of different stuff. And just, it was a lot of days that I had driven the vehicle, felt weird. And luckily it was because I wasn't going too far. Like I was only in my little area right over here. I run to the store, go here, go there. So I'm in the car, out the car, but I was in it enough, had that stuff in my bloodstream that I was still catching some of it, but it wouldn't hit me like it would that day and last Saturday. So many times, right? They told me at the dealership that I needed to purchase the kind that go in your house just to put in the car, to have it in the car for, and I'm like, well, why would I do that though? Like, why would I purchase a house one? But my mom was like, no, that's not a bad idea, because now at this point, we don't know the effects that it has had on you or what it's going to, have on you in the future. Like, we don't know. You know what I mean? So now I'm paranoid getting inside of vehicles. I instantly think, okay, I'm going to be choking. I'm not going to be able to breathe. I'm not going to be able to swallow. Everything's going to get dizzy. That's in my mind now. And now I don't even want the car. Okay. I'm scared of the freaking car. The car's in the shop right now. So he said if it sits, so like again, the days that I was hermiting here in the house, it was getting out of the car, right? And out of my system. So like every 5 hours, half of whatever's in your system comes out. Every 5 hours, half of the CO2 comes out of your body just through breathing in clean, fresh oxygen. Which explains too why I would love, like sitting outside on that patio and just, even when it was cold, just taking it in, just couldn't get like enough freaking oxygen in my body, okay? Be careful in your vehicles. Be careful in your homes with carbon monoxide. I would not be here, because I promise y'all, I was going to sit in that car and heat it up. And had it not came to me, it was yesterday actually, had it not came to me that that's what it was, I would have continued driving that vehicle. And I don't even want to think about all the what ifs. Hopefully this video will help somebody. And it feels so damn good to know, one, A, I'm not crazy. Two, I knew there was something wrong with me, but at least it was something that was able to be caught in time, that I'm still here to tell the story. And now I can start the recovery process from CO2 freaking poisoning. Now everybody's like, oh my God, wow. Like, wow, I'm sorry. Because I was trying to tell, I felt like nobody was hearing me. So I'm just going to stop talking about it. Like, nobody cares. Who cares? Sharon, you crazy lady. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video.